I think you're a believer in conservation. I know you're a hunter. I know you're a gigger. You do those kinds of things, and those will be things that come up. And
oh, absolutely. And like I said, I'm very, very big in the outdoors, and especially even that with my family. We enjoy the outdoors. We hunt, we fish, we do a lot of things like that, and I want to protect that right. And for my kids to be able to enjoy the same right when they have kids. And it seems like we're always, potentially under attack for gun control and different types of legislation that I strictly oppose, because like I said, I've been able to enjoy that as I grew up with my dad. I want my kids to be able to pass that on to their kids also.
Even after we pass laws that allow us to carry guns and that sort of thing, there's some judge someplace that always tries to get it into court.
They're not going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to continue to attack, whatever avenue they can. And it seems like you think that you've got it covered, and then like I said, somebody will crop up and they'll try another angle to change that. So,
you said you was on the church board. You're a member of which church?
Temple Baptist Church. I'm a member of Temple Baptist Church.
And you and your family are regular attenders?
Absolutely.
Temple Baptist Church. Have you found out the district's pretty good size?
Oh yeah, district's pretty good size. We cover Crawford, parts of Franklin County, Crawford and Gasconade. Runs basically over, stretches over to New Haven, Berger, to the edge of Washington, back over, it skirts the outside of Union, and then Bourbon and Sullivan.
You, of course, are well known here in Sullivan. As you said, you coached my boys in football. You've coached a lot of kids, and they're up in their voting age now, and that sort of thing. But are you trying to get well known in, say, the New Haven area?
Oh, absolutely. And my treasurer is from the New Haven area, Don Koppelman. Mm-hmm. He's a well-known gentleman in the New Haven area, and he's going to give me some help and support of the people in that area over there. So we've been getting ready to go over and try to organize and get some people together on that side of the district, too.
And Don, of course, serves on the East Central College Board. He's been elected to that for this area.
Yes.
That's in this district, too.
Yes.
And he's going to be your treasurer.
Yes.
So... well, that will be a kind of a leg up on getting to know people in that area, won't it?
And here's the thing, John. I know a lot of people in that area. Back in the time when we played fast pitch softball, one of your counterparts on the football microphone, Mike McCullough. We did a lot of fast pitch softball. And a lot of those guys from New Haven and Herman and Berger and all the places. We know a lot of them people. So I've got a good base of people there that already know me, that'll recognize me once we get out and they understand that I'm running for office. So.
You've got to think about winning the Republican and then the nomination, and then after that, it'll be a tough race for the general election.
Oh yes, it will. I honestly believe that. I believe that that the opponent, on the other side, when we get to the general, would be Todd DeVite. I'm assuming that, but he's had an opportunity to try to run for this office unsuccessfully, but hopefully we can be here and it'll be a tough race.
Well, I've heard people say this is going to be a Republican year because of everything going on in Washington. I don't believe that. I think it's early yet.
Well, people can forget
And on your level, I'm not sure it's even that important. Because I know that I can call Charlie Slottick and talk to him, for example. And if you're elected, I know I can call Dave Schatz. I can't call anybody in Washington, D.C. and talk to him.
Right.
So it's a little different, isn't it?
Well, it is a little different, but I still believe it rings true. I think that as we see some of these uprisings of these groups, these Tea Parties and these Patriot groups and stuff, that's a reflection of I've seen, and I'm very encouraged by the fact that people are starting to, they've lost, we've been empathetic in politics, but I'm excited about seeing people getting energized and saying, hey, we're tired of not being heard. So when you see that in the local area, I truly believe that that's a good sign. I believe those people are going to, instead of just sitting back doing nothing, they're going to get out and they're going to vote and they're going to be interested in who they're electing.
What's your plan for campaigning? I know you've got some help in your campaign.
Well, we've got an approach, and we're going about our business of fundraising, stuff like that, networking through people. I've got good people that have said that they'd help. They volunteered, and we'll continue to build a base of people that'll go out, and we can get out to the district, and we'll ultimately go door to door and you do the parades and all the stuff that it takes. I mean, there's a lot to this that I'm learning as I go. Some of it too, also.
It's expensive, isn't it? You're probably finding that out already.
Well, and when you look at it, I mean, it absolutely is expensive, and it takes money. That's the necessary evil of this, that it does cost money to get this accomplished. But we're having pretty good success at that. And it's amazing, that we're able to raise some money and people.
Have you sat down and talked to Charlie Slottick?
Absolutely. Before I made the decision to even take this on, there was a lot of prayerful consideration to this. Talking with my family, my kids, and then I visited with Charlie and several other reps I talked to about the job, the time, constraints, and what they thought about it. And everyone I talked to, as far as from Charlie and different representatives that have been there in the past, told me it's one of the greatest things you'll do. Encouraged me to to take it on and to do it. And so absolutely, I talked, kind of done my homework to see, to make sure I knew what I was getting into.
In the old days, whenever I was a kid, somebody would run and get elected in first time, and he was kind of a freshman up there, and he had to fit in with the guys that had been there forever. That changes with term limits. I mean, once you get elected, there's a lot of them term limited out.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're elected, you're going to be one of the new faces, but among many new faces.
Right.
So you actually have more influence than you would.
Well, like I said, absolutely. That's one of the things with term limits that it does bring about is that you're always, the leadership is always changing hands. So it's coming in, and you have an opportunity to make a difference. If you can get up there, you can get in there and you can make some things happen that are necessary to happen. So
now, for people who would like to support you now and would like to back you, do you have some fundraisers coming up?
Oh, we're going to have fundraisers coming up. I've got one. We're going to have basically a candidate meet and greet or campaign kickoff here on March the 5th at the Sullivan Country Club. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. From 6 to 8, we're going to have a fish fry. There's no charge for admission. We want people to come out, and we're going to feed them fish and hush puppies and some stuff, and we'll have a little door prize drawing, some things, so they can come out and they can kind of see about what we're doing, what's going on. It'll also give us an opportunity if people want to get involved, to volunteer, or to donate. They'll be able to do that also.
And the date of that again?
March the 5th.
March the 5th, and you're going to have some of those...
That's a Friday evening, yes.
I guess all those fish Daniel gigged and the one that Kyle and Ryan got.
I did have your boys out there on the river trying to help me obtain some fish, but I hate to say, John, if I was dependent on them, we'd have to be eating hot dogs because...
Well, you told me you told them you was going to rent the gig to them. They were.
Well, I'm going to charge them rent because, they were wearing it out.
Daniel it's kind of, you've got Dave's in college, Daniel's in college, they both play football. Daniel's at Mizzou. It's kind of fun. I went to like 3 games this year, and in fact, Nancy and I took him out to dinner one of the games. It's kind of fun sitting way up there high, seeing Daniel warm up pregame. I hope someday he's able to get in the game. So.
Yeah, that's exciting as a parent, and I'm proud. Proud to see that in my kids. I'm pretty proud of my kids.
Yeah, well, and it's for them to play football in college. It's a commitment, isn't it?
It is, and
at any level.
It is, but especially on the Division I level. I talked to Daniel last night. They're Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays right now. He's up at 6:30. They have weight training. Mm-hmm. Tuesdays and Thursdays they have conditioning, and like I said, and then he's got to go to class. So all that kind of, and this is off season, or what you potentially think is off season. He has switched to defense. Mm-hmm. So he's moved over, and he's going to go and pursue the safety position, mm-hmm. which I believe has been, probably a good opportunity for him to get some playing time sooner in that position.
Well, he's fast. He's got a lot of speed. So
and hopefully they're building him up in the weight room, getting some.
Yeah, he told me he's at 195 pounds.
Yeah,
I told him he was lying.
Well, I think he might stretch into a couple of pounds.
That's what I thought. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun, and that's part of raising kids. And as you said, you have 3 daughters now at home. So good luck with that.
Oh yeah. That's right now. We're in the middle of basketball season. They're playing basketball. One's on the volleyball. So we're constantly on the go, and things are busy. But we enjoy it that way. And my wife, same thing. She's very supportive. She understands that when we get involved in stuff like this, we get involved in it because we think it's important, and if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
She's, Schatz is a local name here. She's also from a local family.
Yes, yeah, she's a Cuneo. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like me, we're both born and raised here, lived here all our lives. So we're pretty well staple of this community. Been here and intend on being here too.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dave, we want to wish you the best of luck. I know we'll be hearing from you more during this campaign, and of course, you're always invited back. And I guess first thing is you'll file, and that'll be coming up.
I think February 23rd is the filing date, and we're gonna get up there and get filed. And that's, like I said, we're gonna have that campaign kickoff. After we get filed, so it's official. We've made that filing, and also I can mention our website. Have a website that'll be up sometime next week. It's www.citizensforschatz.com. hopefully you can go there and pull that up, and then you can look at some information about some of the issues and some different things that we'll have on there. Also, I'm out there on Facebook. I'm learning that new media. I can tell you this, I'm a little bit illiterate on that, but
just
I'm
ask
working
the girls.
Yeah, we ask the kids, that's for sure.
They'll know. Well, Dave, good luck to you. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
All right.